You see, for the people who can see you now, Alex, they'll see what a big smile you've got, and they'll tell that you're not sat on the edge of your seat at all, and you're really enthusiastic, and you're looking forward to this chit chat. For the people who are just listening to you on Spotify, I'll just have to tell them that you've got a massive grin from ear to ear, and you're looking like a very happy person.
Yeah, that's always the plan. Always try to have a big smile on my face throughout the day.
So for those that are not seeing you, they'll obviously will have worked out that I'm talking to somebody called Alex. But who on earth are you?
I am Alex Wallace, and I am the founder of the Mintridge Foundation. We're based in Northamptonshire, and we're a registered charity that harness the power of positive sporting role models to help and support young people with both their physical and mental well-being. So in my very biased opinion, I have the best job in the world.
It sounds like definitely the best, or one of the best jobs in the world, and from everything I hear, you're doing a phenomenal job on that front, Alex, so well done to you.
Oh, thank you. You know, it's been a tricky year to help and support young people, but we keep going, and I think being in and around athletes is it helps you control the controllables and look at how to cope well. So yeah, we love it. Brilliant.
And then you'll have a far better memory than me, Alex. But remind me, who was it that put the two of us together in the first place? Who was it introduced the two of us? Can you remember?
It was the wonderful Kate Slack. I think you met her at a networking event, and she has been incredibly supportive of the charity and what we're doing, and helping us reach out to new corporate sponsors. So I think she heard about what you did and with the sporting genies, and thought that it would be a great connection, of which she was very right. So here we are today.
We need to go back and say thank you to Kate. Well, I need to do anyway, don't I? Because I very much see you as part of the family now. So it feels like I've known you for donkey's years, but it's a really good connection. I'm glad we've met you, and absolutely no doubt more and more good stuff will come out of the connection. So
oh no, thank you. And it's just weird though that we haven't met in person, is it? Because everything's behind a screen at the moment, but that's the wonderful world that we live in right now.
But, I might just scare you one day and head down to Northamptonshire. Yeah. Although having said that, you're clearly national in your operations these days, aren't you?
Yeah, no, we are. I've been and dropped off one of our athletes at a school in Lincolnshire today. So we want to be all over. We want every young person to reach our athletes and bridge that gap between elite sport and youth. So yeah, national is the aim.
Well, I mean, this vlog, this podcast that we do, we call it the sport vlog, where we describe you as one of the sporting genies, and not everybody will be aware that, but we do have a monthly get together at the moment. Like you say, Alex, it's on a virtual basis, but we run this thing called Sporting Genies, and I know that it's not just me that's been impressed by your activities, but you're very much perceived as a valued member of that team, and everybody genuinely opens their ears even wider to listen to what it is the Mintridge Foundation is doing at this point in time, and it's a real credit, everything that you're doing.
Oh, thank you. That's really kind, and I think, yeah, it's great. I think this year especially, it's been quite lonely for so many people, and actually to be able to have a safe space, and a space like Sporting Genies where you can meet like-minded individuals, meet people that know and love and understand what sport can do and achieve. I think that's really powerful, and so we're very grateful for all of the support and all the introductions that you've given to enable us to grow where we want to be. So thank you.
Long may it continue.
Yeah, exactly.
And then I'm going to start sliding down in my seat, because I'm realizing I'm not at the same higher echelons as you, because a little birdie tells me that you won an award as the Sunday Times sports person of a particular year in a certain category. Tell me more about that.
Yeah, honestly, I still get goosebumps when people mention it. It was such an incredible night. So back in November 2018, I'd been shortlisted for the Sunday Times Sportswoman of the Year Awards in the grassroots category.
Fantastic.
And I came away with a big shiny trophy, which was very much a personal accolade, but I think it just showed what we have achieved as a team here at Mintridge, it was it's safe to say I definitely enjoyed the night, from the selfies with Dina Asher-Smith to the hair and makeup and the red carpet, and just being in a room of so many powerful women. I just want to do it all over again, and the platform that's given us at the charity has been huge. and enabling sort of funders to look at us in a very different way, athletes to hear about us, to come on board with what we're doing, and just to, as I keep going back to, keep raising the profile of the charity. So yeah, I'm a big fan, and think showcasing powerful women is something that needs to be done, and there needs to be a lot more of that, and celebrating everyone's achievements.
Absolutely. And you lead me on to powerful women, because in previous podcasts that I've done, you're now in the good company of people like Dame Sarah Story, Sue Story, who's the CEO of England Volleyball. And one of the questions I asked them, and it was going to be a really pertinent one to ask you as well, is that I'm very pro this concept of inspiring women. I'm very pro and see the phenomenal work that women do in the sports sector. And I just look at it with my eyes wide open and highly impressed. What words of wisdom might you have for other women, or in particular because of your work within the young people sector? Anything that you might wish to pass on as messages that could act as motivation or encourage people that might want to pursue their own dreams just like you have?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think we're at a really exciting time for women's sport. COVID has probably slowed it down slightly, but it's really building momentum. It's gaining so much more media attention, and it's getting closer to that level playing field that women's sport deserves. And I think the biggest thing for me, and what I'd love to share to those coming through the system and wanting to break into the sports industry in any capacity, whether that's playing, coaching, the administration, whatever it is, it's about being proactive, and it's about making a noise. And I always go back to the point that there's nothing special about the little black book of addresses and phone numbers that I had at the very beginning. It's just me going out and reaching out to people. And I think I was worried that COVID would put a stop to that, but actually with the beauty of social media and the positives that it can bring, I think to get out there, make a noise in front of companies that you like, make a noise in front of individuals that you'd like to learn from, get in front of clubs. And I think that's got Mintridge to where it is, and just reaching out. So saying yes and making a noise about the work you do. It's as simple as that, really. And I think if you've got an appetite to be in it, you will get the rewards, and you will learn from it. So yeah, I just want to get as many people on this amazing journey with us as we're going forward. I mean, we're just looking at the 100 in cricket. I'm going there next week to enjoy it, and again to have something of that magnitude on a level playing field for women and men. It's great, and I want that to be across so many more sports. So just make a noise and say yes.
And you've now had traction. I will have lost count, and my numbers will be out of date, but it's now, you've reached certainly hundreds of thousands of young people in the UK, haven't you?
Yeah, it's we've reached 60,000 young
60,000.
people. Yeah, which is it's amazing. So Mintridge was very much born out of a negative experience that I had in sport, but part of my healing and getting over that and getting through that has been that, yes, I had a negative experience, but the positives that have come from what we're doing now with Mintridge is far greater. And I can be on so many more journeys with other people, and that gives me that purpose, and it gives me that drive to do what we're doing, and seeing those faces, seeing the reactions we get when those gold medals come out, those selfies are happening. It makes it all very worthwhile.
So was it largely that negative experience that led you as the catalyst to setting up the Mintridge Foundation?
Yeah, absolutely. And I just don't think I really realised it at the time, but it is something that I think was very much needed when I was growing up. I was a hockey player. I wanted to play for England. That was a dream. That was the aspiration. I absolutely loved hockey, loved sport, and I got to those England trials at under 16 level after years of training and matches and however many hours on the playing field, and I didn't get selected there, and I really struggled from that. I really struggled with my mental health. I struggled with my identity. I was Alex the hockey player to everyone, and I no longer really enjoyed it. My biggest love sort of became my worst enemy, because I felt like I had failed. I felt like I had been overcome by pressure. I felt like an imposter. So many different negative areas that I think if I'd had a mentor that had been there and done that and faced those challenges and setbacks, I think I would have coped much better, and I'd still be playing hockey today in any capacity, which I'm not. And it's scary to know how many other young people went through a similar thing across different sports. So now knowing that we can bridge that gap between elite sport and youth, I think has really helped, and it's narrowing that gap and helping all aspects of sport, not just the technical side. It's very much the mental side and the mental approach to it as well, which I love, and we're seeing the impact that that's having, as well as having relatable role models as well. So going back to what I was saying earlier about we're at a really exciting time for women's sport. When I was coming through the hockey system, it was really hard to see female elite players. So I want every young person to have someone that they can look up to, that's a relatable role model for them, and they think they've done it, I can do it, they look like me, they're from the same area as me, they're from a similar background, why can't I do it? So that's a big approach for Mintridge. It's you cannot be what you cannot see.
I'm going to have to be careful, because this interview could go on for hours and hours and hours. It's fascinating, everything you're saying. Did you know about my limited work within the arena of mental health at the moment?
Only that we've discussed it briefly, haven't we, about the support you want to give to primary schools, and particularly around anxiety.
Yeah, so what I will do when I next meet up with you, when I meet up face to face with you, I'll give you, during lockdown, I've written and published a book called Delirium, and it's all about sports psychology, mindfulness, mindset around the people in that sporting world. So hopefully you might find it a wee bit interesting.
Yeah.
But what strikes a chord just listening to you, Alex, is that you just used the phrase a minute ago, Alex the hockey player. In one of the chapters, and each chapter is dedicated to a sports person that's got something to say about the mind. One of them was Paul Heighton, who used to play for Salford Red Devils and Wales at Rugby League. And his is a different perspective than yours, because yours is in the start of your career in sport. His was at the end of his career in sport, and he talks about how he was always Paul the rugby player. But when Paul the rugby player stopped playing, that transition from being in sport to being basically nowhere was a very, very lonely existence.
Oh, absolutely. And I think, like you say, mine was very early, but we do so much work with our athletes at the charity alongside Switch the Play, who help athletes in transition. And looking back, I just wish that I realized there was more to Alex than hockey. And I didn't. And that's what we're really trying to encourage young people to realize is, yes, it's great to have that sport, but that's only what you do. It doesn't make you who you are. And it's just part of you. But actually, there's so much more to Alex. There's the family side, there's the friend side. And yeah, I wish I'd known it, but equally, I love what I'm doing now, and it gave me the drive to do. So it's a real balancing act of people saying, what do you wish you'd known? So yeah, it's such a fine line. But athletes in transition, it's really hard as well for lots of people, for rugby players, for Olympians. They see them on their screens, they see them doing great things, but actually they don't realize what goes on behind the scenes as well. And you do become invested in it, and that does become part of your identity. And it's an early end to a career in age range, really, for a lot of sports, and it can end at any time through injury, through loss of funding. So to have that secondary element to what you do is important, but also to realize day-to-day that stuff as well. It's not just hockey. It's Alex that goes out and enjoys mindfulness, goes out with her friends, does so much more.
Brilliant. Well, we're going to, on this mental health thing, I think we will continue to have discussions. This chat is all about you, Alex, rather than me, but I can't remember whether I told you or not, but it's certainly gathering pace. Unfortunately, my father, at the other end of the spectrum, again, age-wise, is suffering from vascular dementia, and he's been a worldwide expert on the mind, particularly in pediatrics, sleep, epilepsy, neurology, neuropsychology. So I want to do something as a legacy to him. So I think I mentioned to you the other day that what opened my eyes again was the fact that I spoke to my head teacher at for my daughter's school, and she said very articulately, "Mr. Stores, you don't realise that I'm having these conversations every day of the week these days, because young people, and we're talking about year 5, year 6 now, quite a lot emphasis towards girls, but with COVID, with exams, with leaving school, little school to go to big school, with women changing from girls to becoming women, there's an awful lot of anxiety, an awful lot of pressure put on that. So I'm looking at opening a cognitive behaviour therapy CBT centre for young people around Stockport, South Manchester, and totally not for profit, but trying to give some extra support to these young people, whether it be related to sport or not, but just something that's in need.
Oh, that sounds incredible. And I think a lot of the topics you just said there, they're often so taboo and
absolutely
then just not spoken about. And yes, you're saying it's not linked to sport, but a lot of the dropout rates from girls in sport at that age are because of all the things that you just mentioned. And that transitional age of primary to secondary, or GCSE up to A level, because they've had that abrupt end to their school years because of COVID, you know, that's going to impact them even more. And to have as much support that you can there, I think it's a win-win, really, isn't it?
We're on the same page once again, Alex.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, how long have we got for this interview? For like,
so Alex, you're so impressive, and that's why you're on the channel today, and that's why we're having a little chat. But just drop into the conversation some of the superb athletes that are acting as ambassadors and are engaging with your activities at the Mintrus Foundation. Are there people that other people who are listening to this might have heard of, and want to sing their praises in terms of what sort of things they're doing with you?
Yeah, absolutely. So we have athletes at such different stages of their career, which I think is really important because they learn from each other, but equally I think it allows that relatability aspect again for young people. So we have double Paralympic gold medalist Danielle Brown in archery. We have Pamela Cookie, who's a Sky Sports netball presenter, Ebony Asiro Brown, who's in the England netball team, Shona McCallan, who has just touched down in Tokyo, and with hopefully to bring back another gold medal in the hockey team, double Olympian Marilyn Okoro, and they're just the female athletes that we have. We then have George Furbank as an example, who won another cap for England this weekend in rugby union. And as an avid Northampton Saints supporter, I think it's only right that we have a Saints person in the team. We have Middlesex cricketer Stevie Eskenazi, Jordan Jarrett Bryan, GB wheelchair basketball player, and now Channel 4 presenter. So such a diverse range. And I could go on and talk about each of them.
I think you're doing remarkably well. Bearing in mind, you didn't know what questions I was going to ask, the way you're just reeling them off. I'm very impressed.
Yeah,
but
and I've been with Iona Lake this morning. I dropped her off at a school who's steeplechase. So there's just such diversity that every young person can pick up and think, right, this is the sport for me. I wouldn't necessarily try that, but there's so many different ones. We had an amazing email from a parent this week who we've taken in Khadija Safari, who's our MMA ambassador. She's really new to the team. So we've tried kickboxing in schools, and we've had a parent that said, my child really lacks confidence in any sport, but we think we've suddenly found something that he would like to do. And we've sent through suggestions of local clubs in their area, and just think brilliant. And just the more diversity we can have, the more young people we can reach and touch and get them to enjoy sport in the way that they want to enjoy it, whether that's competitive or whether that's participation. So yeah, sorry, I'll stop waffling on about them all.
Absolutely no apology necessary. Have I put you in touch yet? This is my latest role as non-exec director. Have I put you in touch with Wall Ball yet?
No, Wall Ball, I've looked at it, and you obviously shared it a couple of weeks ago. I think I heard them speak at an event a couple of years ago, but Wall Ball will be, I'd love to have that on board.
So shall I get somebody like the CEO, Daniel Grant, or Dan Thackeray to give you a call and see if there's any ways you can collaborate?
Yeah, absolutely. We love collaborations.
I love it. The only thing, because again, this is all just like you, but obviously on a far, far, far smaller scale. I love giving something back. So they've got, one of the products they've got at the moment is a giant Lego wall. And it's a giant Lego wall that the little children in primary school, they build the wall and then they play wall ball against it. So I've requested to have one of those sooner rather than later. And then in some of the deprived wards of my borough where I live in Stockport, we're just going to hopefully take that into the sports halls and have a little play around and have some more smiles on faces.
No, I feel like, yeah, we need one at Mintridge HQ as well. I feel like that will go down very well.
I'll get them in touch.
Yeah, thank you.
Again, I didn't do too much digging around on you because I don't need to. I feel like I know Alex already, but I'm going to surprise you with something that I found out, and I need to click on to something, and I need to read something out to you.
I don't know where this is going.
Don't worry, it's not bad. It's a quote that apparently is a quote that's inspired you. It says, "Find something that is more important than you and devote your life to it," by Pinky Lilani.
Yes, Pinky. She is just another powerful lady. She's the founder of the Women of the Future Awards and has just created such a wonderful network of kindness and collaboration. That's what it's built upon. And again, such diversity in sport and far beyond that. I just don't think you can get as many different industries in a room as Pinky manages to do. And it was at my first Women of the Future event that she said that statement: find something that is more important than you and devote your life to it. And it just really resonated. And I just thought, that's exactly what I'm doing now. And that's what, gets me out of bed. That's what, particularly through COVID, when I've really struggled, I think we're making a difference, and we're helping young people on their own sporting journey in a much stronger way than I had when I was growing up. So it's that more wholesome approach again. And allowing them to see what success means for them, which is a very individual thing. And Pinky is, if you ever get to listen to her on Desert Island Discs, you'll just get a sense of just how kind and warm her personality is, that allows her to help and support so many people. And that's what she does day in, day out. So yeah, I'm a big advocate for Pinky Lilani.
You're incredibly articulate, Alex, so well done to you on that. But two sort of getting towards the end questions I'd like to ask. One is, in terms of low-hanging fruit, you've given us a taster of the Mintridge Foundation, but in terms of what we call low-hanging fruit, within your strategy, what are the sort of the things that are the main thrust going forward? And then when you perhaps share that little bit with us, for the audience that is listening to this, how can they help Alex Wallace, and how can they help the Mintridge Foundation to continue and to expand the wonderful work they're doing at the moment?
Oh, thank you. So at the moment, our biggest focus is helping and supporting secondary schools more than anyone else, largely because they're the ones that have less funding for opportunities like this. So we're always looking to help and support them with grant applications, with trusts, with individuals, with companies that might want to help and support. So we're always on the lookout for those individuals that would help and support and sponsor those elements to help us continue that in different areas. Because every young person needs that support, no matter what their background, no matter where they're from. So that's sort of a really big focus, is helping get that funding side in. And in terms of how everyone listening can help, I think we have so many different options, and we would just love sort of at one level to like and follow us on social media, just to see the great work that we're doing in schools. Maya, our intern, is in a school today and will be updating throughout the day, so I feel like people can live with the program. To the other side, where we're looking for Minties business stars, Minties advocates that are willing to help and support with fundraising and with generating awareness, to more of our Minties corporate champions, which is looking more at a strategic approach to our partnerships. So there's so many different levels. We'll never turn anyone away that wants to come and help and support us and help bridge that gap even more.
So I think the message is loud and clear. If you don't remember anything else, remember Alex Wallace, remember the Mintridge Foundation, and people should just get in touch and just explore the possibilities.
Yeah, exactly. Everything is on our website and our social channels with how to help. So but obviously always here on the phone as well, as you can tell. I love a chat. So
I know it's you start talking about sponsorship and you start talking about fundraising, and for people who don't do it on a daily basis like you and I, people might start thinking ching ching and thinking this is going to be expensive. But what particularly struck me, because we're going to work together hopefully on a bit of a crowdfunding project to get a bit of money in to help you, and really the entry point is very low actually for some people. For some of the shopping list of equipment that can make a difference to these young people, it is a low cost investment for many a person or SME.
Yeah, absolutely. So we have our Minties equipment stars that we're on the lookout at the moment, and that starts at a low figure and works its way up. But then in other cases, we constantly have virtual challenges that are sort of minimal entry fees. And if anyone wants to do additional fundraising, that's brilliant. But again, it's more about, we want to support the people that are supporting us. And that's about getting active, having that purpose and achieving there. So there's just so much on our website. And we've even got a local pub in Northamptonshire now that are supporting us. So we're encouraging everyone to go and eat out and have quality time with their families during the Olympic fortnight. So there's something for everyone, I think.
Well, I don't know how people listening can't possibly be enthused, because you're clearly a bubbly character, and I love absolutely everything you're doing, Alex. So, like I say, as a one person, I just want to applaud you, and please do keep up the good work. And I also want to say a big thank you for taking part on the vlog podcast today. And long may the relationship continue in terms of us trying to help each other.
Yeah. Oh no. Well, thank you very much for having me. I could chat all day, but no, looking forward to it as well. And there's lots more to come where we can collaborate, which, as Pinky says, is the key to everything. So thank you.